Hello, welcome back to Kaiserreich. So let's, as I said, or as I promised, read this event here. I promised last episode. While a good number of religious have protested the effects of the revolution, that is not true for all groups. Of these groups, the one that has attracted the most attention and popularity recently, the Catholic Workers' Movement, led by Comrade Dorothy Day. The movement has attracted popularity for combining Catholicism with socialist values. The focus on the concept of works of mercy as well as have that needs some revision there, as well as have built a number of hospitality houses in many major cities and even smaller towns. The hospitality houses are acting as support shelters for those trying to return to civilian life now that the revolution has come to fruition. Live in accordance with the justice and charity of Jesus Christ. Yes, indeed. I think I had a history professor who said something like, we're talking about a specific thing that happened in northern Norway with the indigenous Sami population, which, don't worry, this somehow connects to this, which happened in like the mid-1800s, also Jesus Christ. We might have to get involved in this, or, sorry, this. Happened in the mid-late 1800s, so around the time when Marx and all that stuff was, really kicking off in Europe with the revolutions of 1848 and all that. And, oh my god. And there was a sort of, kind of, revolt in a town in Norway called Kautokeino, which has been studied intensely, and there are many different ways of interpreting that revolt. And I asked, could there at some point, because the person who had sort of influenced the people there to revolt, or to their riot or whatever, they ended up killing a policeman and so forth. Could that person, who was learned and had studied in Germany, have, picked up some Marxist stuff? And I think during this, because it was a Christian or like a religious revolt, during this, I think he said something along the lines of like Jesus somehow having very Marxist-esque, in the general, very basic terms, ideas. And, the first shall be the last, to enter the kingdom of God and all that. The rich, that meaning the rich or the privileged, will be the last to enter, and the poor and the downtrodden will be the first. And, it is easier for a for a man to go through a rich man to go through a camel to go through the head of a needle or whatever, than it is for a rich man to enter heaven. Stuff like that. And I found that interesting, and so I think it's honestly not that far-fetched for proper true Christian organizations that are very that emphasize charity and all that to get on board with this sort of political platform. I told you I was going to connect it back somehow to the Socialist Party of America. But also, let's have a look at the war in the world here, or the wars in the world. Nothing much interesting happening in Asia. The Qing Fengshan thing here happening, as it often does. It's a slog. Japan invades, the few ports that Qing has, and sort of gets stuck. If you want to see that sort of happen in a different game, in My Democratic Japan game, which will be coming up on YouTube, check that series out, or check me out on Twitch where I'm playing that game. Let's see. Turkey, of course, lost in the Arab Revolt, or quote-unquote Arab Revolt, this world's version of that. Bulgaria in the Reichspakt, which probably means... Yeah, Bulgaria lost the war, right? Yeah, because Greece owns Salonika and Serbia has a bunch of stuff here. Still, I believe... Well, this is some, real Weltkrieg 1 shit here, with Like, literally, these are very, very, very similar to the battle lines of World War I, over here at least. I do believe the Commune of France is going to lose eventually. 93 to 274. Yeah, they're low on manpower, but so is the Commune of France. They're basically equivalent in manpower and possibly divisions, though the German industry is so much stronger than the French one. That's probably going to be the deciding factor. The French are going to run out of guns, they're going to run out of their logistical network is going to fail their army, which means that their army is going to fail the state. It's generally how you lose a war. Yeah, we need to make a... Well, we've got the third army over here, so we need to just start making new armies, because we're getting a lot of new troops. Also, I did restructure the navies and stuff. I'll get into that later on, so that we don't have me just talking to you with a pause screen for the entirety of the episode. But I did... So yeah, you can see the reserve was something like 150, and now it's only 50. I say only. Most of it is submarines, which are, you know, dirt cheap to make. Fast, cheap, etc. I've set up a small carrier fleet, which will be escorted by fast battleships and cruisers. In fact, I'll train the carrier. This is the Solidarity class. Sorry, the first Solidarity class, the CSS Lexington, which honestly, it cannot be called the CSS Lexington if it is the first Solidarity class. It has to be called the Solidarity, of course. It's not going to be the Pride of the Fleet, because I'm saving that for the Jack Reed, I think. Or the Reed class, which is going to be called the Jack Reed. Or it's going to be called... Yeah, it's going to be called the CSS Jack Reed. May I please? There we go. Yeah, so that one is going to be the Pride of the Fleet, I think. Let's just get everyone out there doing naval exercises. We could probably use more scout ships, but in separate fleets so that we can employ them in different you know, areas of operations. Oh yeah, there's a mine-laying one, which has not been fully fitted yet. There we go. 20 submarines will be going to that one. Looks like we don't have those, or 19 will be going to that one. Looks like we don't have those 19. Yeah, we're actually out of submarines here, which is good, because that means that they'll automatically be reinforced, and we can actually have... Well, no, we're not out of submarines. We've got... Oh, of course, that's why. There we go, I just had to send them over here and then they'll automatically restock. So we're out of normal submarines, which means we should probably actually start to like boost production on that. Oh my god, we need chromium, because we are making way too many ships. Where do we have chromium, and can we increase the amount we can extract by increasing our... We've got 2 there. Our infrastructure. 2 is not enough to just increase infrastructure to take it. We need to take Cuba. Holy shit, we need to take Cuba. What alliance are you in? You're in the Reichspakt. This man looks like a mixture of Adolf Hitler and the opposition leader in Venezuela right now, Juan Guaido. I'm actually frightened how accurate that description that I just made was. You know, tooting my own horn a little bit there, but that was way too on point. Alright, so we need to take Cuba, though, because we need that for the Navy, that chromium, which creates an interesting dilemma for us, because we want to fight Canada first, but then we also want to fight the Reichspakt now. Fuck, so it looks like we're gonna have to fight the Internationale last. So start the war with Canada, take the islands around here, and then fight the Entente, take Cuba and all that, and then Japan is not in an alliance, are they? They're not. Good. So yeah, we take those, take Cuba, and then once we've taken Cuba, we'll expand into... Yeah, of course, we can take Hawaii, and we can use that as a springboard to expand into the Pacific, take German holdings in the Pacific. We probably will not mess too much with the AOG, because that would be a very, very costly and long war to fight. And then, finally, maybe take Africa, and, like, we'll liberate the colonized peoples first, and deprive the Europeans of their resources that they extract from their colonies and their exploited peoples, and then we'll come for the people of Europe afterwards. And by come for, I mean, of course, liberate. Man, this music is low. It's a good song, so I wanna boost it a little bit. Just watching the mixer as I'm boosting it here, making sure it's loud enough and not too loud. I basically got like no idea how audio engineering works. I'm sure you've noticed by this point. Oh god, this one is loud. You know, let's just go to the next one. Yep. Where are the rest of our planes? There's some. I'm gonna have them exercise because why not? It's not like we're gonna run out of oil. Probably set up a bunch of air wings ready for the shit that's gonna be going down over here. Because these guys are gonna be scouting off by the Florida coast. And probably should have someone scouting out here, because we're gonna be fighting possibly a, you know, the Loyalist Royal Navy. Of course, RNS in over here is not the Royal Navy ship, that is a Republican Navy ship. The ships of the Royal Navy are called their prefix is HMS, His Majesty's ship. Also, we have an invasion here. Mexico has been invaded by Australians. Grapes of Wrath primer. Today, the film Grapes of Wrath premiered in theaters today. Okay, one of those todays is not necessary. The film is based on the book of the same name and follows the Joad family, a family from Oklahoma and their troubles during the Depression prior to the Revolution. It does deviate from the book, with the ending on a much more hopeful and optimistic tone, and shows the family working to help out with the revolution, overthrow their California work camp, and overthrow. There's some of the stuff needs to be rewritten. The film has been well regarded by both critics and the public as a necessary edit. A film for the masses. There's a P-40 Warhawk, let's just go straight for the carrier fighter as well. Because we've got that design company. Business unionism is done. So protectionist policies gives a bunch of building slots. That's going to be good. Modifies market socialism, and workers' cooperatives give a bunch of... Oh my god, that's a bunch of buildings there. None that we necessarily need that much. So this seems like, slightly... Yeah, this is internal, internal, affairs stuff. Should probably get the, New America thing here. Redistribute the wealth. Okay, let's set up a new army, I think. And who should lead it? Polar is a marine, right? He's got some marine-looking traits, at least. Ridgeway also looks kind of like a marine. In terms of traits, I don't know about the uniform, though. Mexican border. Bunch of tank commanders. This guy looks, yeah, a Panzer expert. Oh yeah, we should use John Tisa and Oliver Law. Oh dude, this is gonna be led by John Tisa. He was a Cuban-Italian, wasn't he? Maybe he should lead the invasion of Cuba. I don't know if that's morbid or if that's, like, right. Like, either that's morbid or that's, like, better, because he's, you know, he's got possibly some sort of connection to the country and will treat its people right. I don't know. Or it's, you know, yeah, morbid and fucked up to assign to that. So the 4th Army is going to be called, I believe, okay, we got the Continental Army, we got the Pacific Army, and then we got the Great Lakes Army, and then we got... Let's call it the Gulf Army. You know, for the south here. The Gulf of Mexico, of course. Let's see, we've got the P-40 Warhawk. Let's replace the old fighter design here. Didn't even have time to fully get up to speed on production efficiency over there. Oh my god, we have way too many factories. Let's get some more radar. Or no, let's actually not. Let's get... Should we even invest in forts? Feels kind of useless at this point. We are so militarily dominant, I think, that to do so would not be necessary. I'm going to invest in infrastructure. Chiefly in, like, across the United States, like this, so that we can actually get supplies across. But also up to Canada, because that's a place we're going to be fighting a war. So it pays to have infrastructure. See, M5 and M9. Already got the M5, but let's actually rush... Yeah, let's rush the M9 for our first tank companies, or tank corps, I think. Since we get the ahead of time reduction here. Holy shit, why would we need Fuel the Revolution? This one is just so overkill compared to, like, or just on top of what we already get. It's way too much. Anti-submarine warfare technology, that's not bad. The People's Conservative Committee. Since the 1916 National Park Service Act, Americans have been able to preserve natural splendors safe from industrialization. Since the revolution... conservation, not... yeah. Conservation Committee. Since the revolution has now been achieved, a movement has cropped up to combine this conservationism with these old progressive ideals. A number of new national parks have been created on top of the houses of capitalism, as well as People's Conservation Committee, People's Conservation Committee to guide their preservation. A top priority of the PCC is to replant trees across Oklahoma, the source of the dust storms that threaten our food supply. Though it took a lot of convincing to get Congress to fund this project, the PCC hopes that in a few years the dust storms that used to reach Washington, D.C. will now only be a memory. Cool. Yeah, we're gonna go with the tank development, I think. We can disband the Red Guard, which grants large labor pool, which grants this stuff, or we can incorporate the Red Guard, which experienced soldier losses. Does that mean that when we take losses in battle, we lose less experience? I'm not gonna go with this one. We don't need any of these bonuses. We have way too much of this shit already. We construct way too much and way too fast already. We don't need that. In fact, we should start making or doing the nuke tech so that we can make nuclear reactors, because those take forever to build, and that gives us at least something to spend our industry on. Popular Republic of Peru, I thought that was the Canadian flag there for a moment, declared war on nationalist Chile. Gotcha.
Moi j'étais dans une ambulance, les femmes ne se battent pas et j'ai soigné sans différence, fédérés et soldats. Moi je m'appelle Auguste et j'ai 13 ans tout juste.
Yeah, we're still lacking these light tanks for those armor divisions. Which aren't going to be armor divisions, they're going to be medium tank divisions, aren't they? Because they're called armor division, but we have a light tank division, and where is the armored division? That's armored cavalry, that's heavy cavalry. Maybe it just wasn't renamed, because this is the medium tank division, which we're also going to be training. Let's buy this from Turkey, because they're not necessarily in any way, shape or form wrapped up in any of the stuff we're doing. The South African Federation, of course, is still independent, despite the flag, or despite what the flag would indicate, so we can, with good conscience, still trade with them. By good conscience, I mean, you know, we don't need to worry about the fact that we are trading with a potential enemy in the future. Or should we? No, we should get the tank development focus down as soon as possible, so that we can get that ahead of time penalty thing and actually benefit off of it. And then, then I think, let's see, good syndicalist soldier goes. Okay, that's join the International now, and free the New World, which is friendship with Mexico, war plan green, and war plan red, look to the south, and master of the west. This is Great Leap Forward and World Revolution. Those are cool, but also India. Interesting, but those are cool, but... Oh, and this one is really good. Like, this one is amazing. So this one only gives us access to the, to the ability to join the International. It doesn't say we have to. So I'm thinking that we should, because we've got high war support anyways, we've got, you know, all this stuff. Unlocks exporting the revolution decisions. Ah, shit. What does that do? North and South America, those countries who have not become part of the revolution should be dealt with at once. Ah, shit. So this allows us potentially to export the revolution to the rest of America. Well, this one allows us to give aid to countries at war with our enemies or advisors. And just generally give some really good bonuses that I really want. Without actually, you know, joining any alliance. Because we're not going to get involved in the Third International, at least not quite yet. Revolutionary memorials. With the revolution now over, countless memorials have gone up throughout the country to honor the sacrifice of the men and women that made this possible. While many honor those who that fought for the revolution itself, there are also those, or ones, honoring the struggles like the Haymarket Square riot. As these memorials are made by the community, nobody was there to check whether the statue was appropriate until the press got a hold of the story. Apparently, statues were erected honoring the 1916 Preparedness Day bombing and the 1920 Wall Street bombing. The press claim erroneously that the government approved of these memorials and are honoring the bombers. These statues were silently taken down and an official apology was forced out of the city councils responsible for this mean-spirited action. Right. Just a bunch of flavor events, which are really cool. Consolidated TBY Seawolf is done. Oh cool, we actually got a medium tank division done. Or is it? No, that's a light tank division. Cool. That's also cool. Let's start that next medium tank, the M5, so that we can then get the out of time on the M9. So we should probably put someone like Murphy in charge of the light tank corps. Rose is not bad either. But he's already got panzer leaders, I'm going to put him in charge of that, and I'm going to put the other guy in charge of the medium tank corps. Gotta get that carrier bomber, but maybe not quite yet. I'm going to have a look at what else we have available. I'll do atomic research. We got at some point. Let's get the artillery, it's only 62 days. Where do we get the next research slot? Should be like a research icon, I think. Or do we not get one? That would be something. While the Barcelona Socialist Republic of Italy has capitulated. Ah, there we go, revolutionary education. Well, we're gonna get this one, then revolutionary education and stuff. I think we're gonna start the war against Canada before we even do any of the, or any of those foreign policy trees. In fact, since we are almost at the end of the episode, fucking hell. We're not at 75%, and we are looking at a war between the Entente. The Entente is taking over the Union of Britain. Germany's fighting the Commune of France, and we're not even at 75% world tension. What is going on? Alright, national focus then. Let's instead... Yeah, sorry, not instead. Let's actually go with what we said we were going to go with. Fate of the Boy Scouts. A question has come up in regards to the Boy Scouts of America. Some within Congress regard it as a more reactionary organization, notable for including a pledge that Scouts are loyal to their employers in the days before the Revolution, among other issues. To that end, a number within Congress believe that a new pioneer organization should be created similar to the ones in socialist countries in Europe called the Pioneers of America. Unlike the Boy Scouts, this organization will be for both boys and girls and supported by the government, and will help make sure that the new socialist ideas are passed down. I think we should create the Pioneers of America, because I believe, at least, that we should have an organization that, I guess, is a bit more inclusive than the Boy Scouts. I mean, the Boy Scouts are literally called the Boy Scouts. They are, in a sense, gender exclusive. And that is not the kind of, society that I believe that we are creating at the moment. We're soon at the point where we're going to be creating new infantry equipment, so we want to get that. And I see which one I want. I want the Auto Ordnance Cooperative, I think. I like all these new factories, or sorry, these new companies and stuff. Still got Buick, Rock Island Arsenal. We've got stuff like Alton's Worker Defense, or Workers Defense. I'm not sure if that is actually like a real thing, and also the Auto Ordnance Cooperative. I'm not sure if that's also real. Might be, it looks like Thompson. It says Thompson there. It might be based on a real thing, but then like skewed to be like slightly socialist or whatever, to fit with this, you know, alternate universe. Not altogether uncommon for that to happen in this mod. I guess we'll get the next fast battleships as well. The Fall of London. Oh my god, the Canadians are at it. Only 69%. Why though? May we please have our war? Non-core manpower 2%. Oh, that's also really good. But that's the only really good one. So I'm not going to do this later, until later, but could you, if you know, please in the comments tell me, what does exporting the revolution do? Like, what do the decisions under Look to the South, exporting the revolution do? Because I've got no fucking clue. And that might actually impact my decision making in terms of which path we're going to go down on this side. If you have specific thoughts about which path we're going to go down, Good Syndicate Soldier or Free the New World, let me know. In the comments down below, of course. And without further ado, I want to thank you so much for watching. And also, again, call attention to all the garbage in the comments. Sorry, not the comments. There's garbage sometimes in the comments, but not generally. I have good commenters, and also I want to thank you for that. I want to direct your attention to the garbage in the description, rather, where I plug or shill all of my stuff. The Twitter, the Twitch, the Patreon, and the Discord. Discord community, of course, free to join. And a neat and fun little community of very nice people. That's a good place to talk to me or any of the others in the community. And Twitter, of course, if you want to read my shitposts or if you want to send me memes. You can also do that in the dedicated meme channel in the Discord, of course. And Patreon for supporting me financially, and Twitch, of course, to do so as well, because you can subscribe to me using Amazon Prime, which costs nothing for you if you have Amazon Prime. Like, you can register for Twitch Prime, which is a free thing you get if you have Amazon Prime already. And then you basically just take money out of Jeff Bezos' pocket and give it to me. Which sounds kind of like what we're doing in this playthrough, right? I'm joking, but yes, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching again, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.